The Golden State Warriors are zeroed in on Al Horford as their primary free agency target, with most expecting the veteran center to join the franchise once Jonathan Kuminga's future is resolved, whenever that may be. So eager are the Warriors on Horford that they're willing to bypass other potential options in the process, including perhaps the most notable free agent center that's now headed to a direct Pacific rival. The Warriors reportedly had no interest in DeAndre Ayton. As soon as DeAndre Ayton was stunningly bought out by the Portland Trail Blazers, the Warriors became an obvious potential destination given their lack of a starting center and general size on the roster overall. The Los Angeles Lakers were an even more obvious fit, though, quickly signing the former number 1 overall pick to a 2-year, $16.2 million contract. Perhaps Golden State would have never beat out their divisional rivals anyway for Ayton's services, but it's still interesting to hear Monty Poole of NBC Sports Bay Area report that Mike Dunleavy Jr. and the front office never had interest in the 26-year-old. The Warriors, according to multiple league sources, were not among the teams that lined up to gauge Ayton's interest, despite some reports stating otherwise, Poole wrote. Not pursuing Ayton is a contentious decision, and perhaps one that further signals that Horford is on his way to the Bay Area. There's little doubt that Ayton comes with his flaws, and that his on-court fit would have been questionable given his inability to stretch the floor all the way to the three-point line, while also wavering in effort on defense. Then you've got the cultural and locker room aspect of whether a player whose effort and desire to win has often been questioned, mixing with a trio of hard-nosed, do-everything-to-win veterans in Stephen Curry, Jimmy Butler, and Draymond Green. For all those elements, Ayton was clearly the most talented big man available in free agency as someone who's averaged 16.4 points and 10.5 rebounds on 59% shooting for their career. Beyond he and Horford, the center free agent market is incredibly bleak, at least if you're looking for a starter-level player. Should the Warriors have simply tried to get Ayton knowing the alternatives are quite dire? There's a real argument for that, making their decision not to show interest in the 7-footer all the more debatable. It will be much more admissible so long as they actually get Horford, but until the 5X All-Star Faikli puts pen to paper, the Warriors are at his mercy given no real backup plan appears on the horizon. Jonathan Kuminga's future with the Golden State Warriors is still up in the air over a week after free agency officially began. He is one of several restricted free agents who are still waiting to make their next move. The Warriors don't want to let Kuminga walk for nothing, so they could match any offer he gets. However, an amicable breakup is what's best for both sides. Golden State set a high price for Kuminga in a sign-and-trade, asking for a first-round pick and a promising young player. Sacramento reportedly made an offer for Kuminga, but the Warriors shut it down because it wasn't enough, at least from their perspective. The Athletic reported that Kuminga would meet face-to-face with potential suitors in Vegas, subscription required, during Summer League if a deal hadn't formed. He will also reportedly meet with the Warriors so that both sides can determine the best path forward, which could result in the forward starting in the Bay Area. Las Vegas Summer League starts tomorrow, and Kuminga is still on the RFA market. Warriors need to let Jonathan Kuminga go, not bring him back. Kuminga wants to find a team where he can play a consistent role, which didn't happen with the Warriors. He was out of the playoff rotation until Steph Curry got hurt. Kuminga had a starting job at the beginning of the 2024-25 season, but he lost it. He started in 10 of the 47 games he played. No matter how high Joe Lacob is on Kuminga, Golden State shouldn't pay him $20+ million to be in and out of the rotation. Kuminga doesn't want that, either. The 22-year-old wants to prove that he's a starting caliber player, something that hasn't happened with the Warriors. Golden State might not get the first-round pick and player it wants in a sign-and-trade, but lowering the asking price would help facilitate Kuminga's much-needed exit. Maybe the Warriors and Jazz will work a deal out, especially after Utah's latest trade. The Jazz sit at the bottom of the West, but Kuminga would get the playing time he's seeking. Kuminga has potential, but it won't be unlocked in Golden State. It will be bittersweet to see him go, but it's past time. The sooner the Kuminga saga is over, the better, as there is another big move the Warriors still need to make. As the Golden State Warriors' free agency remains stagnant, their roster still maintains a glaring hole at the position of center, and, before the offseason ends, it is an absolute necessity that they fill that positional need. While they have been heavily rumored to be approaching a deal with veteran center Al Horford, a long-rumored and more expensive trade target, Lauri Markkanen, may have become available given the Utah Jazz's recent moves, opening up a surprising option for the franchise this offseason. Although the financial details of acquiring Markkanen would be exceedingly complex, he would be a game-changing acquisition for Golden State, and news of his availability should excite fans. Lauri Markkanen's availability could alter the Warriors' offseason plans. The Jazz, who finished an abysmal 17-65 and were last place in the Western Conference last season, received the 5th overall pick in the draft and selecting controversial forward Ace Bailey to add to their budding young core. However, as the team continues to flesh out its roster, a series of recent trades have signaled their intention to again enter into a full rebuild. Just before the start of free agency, the Jazz traded young guard Colin Sexton to the Charlotte Hornets in exchange for Jusuf Nurkic and a 2030 second-round pick. Moreover, they recently completed a 3-team deal that sent John Collins to the Los Angeles Clippers and resulted in Utah receiving Kevin Love, Kyle Anderson, and a 2027 second-round pick. By selling low on both of these players, the Jazz have moved with definite intention to secure their cap flexibility and hold on to their ample draft capital, and as it appears they are ready to trade away their veterans, it is a real possibility that Markkanen could be on the move next. Markkanen, who averaged 19 points, 5.9 rebounds, and 1.5 assists last season after signing a 5-year, $240 million contract extension with the Jazz, would be highly coveted by teams around the league despite his significant cost. Last offseason, Golden State was linked to Markkanen all the way up until he signed his extension and became ineligible to become traded last season. While the Warriors' situation has changed somewhat with the arrival of Jimmy Butler, their biggest need remains the same, and given the franchise's apparent willingness to do what it takes to win another championship in their current window, it would not be surprising if they were in on Markkanen again this time around.